Hi guys, I'm Rob, welcome back to the channel. So in this week's video, we'll be taking a look at the recently released Super Mario 64 question mark block by LEGO. I'm a huge fan of LEGO as well as anything Nintendo, so therefore anything that gets brought out that is Nintendo related, I feel obliged to get it and obviously make an obligatory review of it. So without further ado, let's get into it. So as you can see, this was released on the 1st of October, and mind you, I was the first one through the door of the LEGO store on the day. And this set is once again part of the 18 plus collection, and it is set number 71395, and it contains, surprisingly, 2064 pieces. Would you look at that? So there's the box. I really do like it. It's quite striking and eye-catching with the yellow question mark block on the dark / blue light behind it, and with the Super Mario 64 logo at the bottom. Swinging it to the back, you do see it all opened up with the macro builds on them, and they do look quite cool. Is it the Peach's Castle that every single LEGO Nintendo fan wanted? No, it is not. But however, it is a Peach's Castle nonetheless, even though Princess Peach is about half the size of the castle itself. So yeah, that's what we got instead of a Peach's Castle, but I do not rule out a UCS Peach's Castle in the near future, as we have gotten UCS style castles such as the Disney Castle, even the Frozen Castle, and we even have something similar which would be the Cantina for Star Wars. So I do not rule out the fact out that Nintendo will eventually make a big style Princess Peach's Castle. If they do not, I think that'll be a wasted opportunity and lose a ton of money, as I know a lot of Nintendo / LEGO fans are chomping at the bit to actually get one. But also, on the bottom, we do get the dimensions of this set. It is 18.5 centimeters wide and 18 centimeters tall. So without further ado, let's stop flapping my gums. I'll go assemble it, and when I'm done, we'll take a closer look at it. So here's the completed set, and it took me around 4 hours to assemble, and I did it over 2 days. And I do have to, however, admit that my wife did help me out a little bit. I think she did around 2 or 3 of the final bags. So that was fun spending time together, building it together. But overall, I do like how it looks. I really do like this strikingly yellow color. It does look awesome, and it does pop on the shelf really well. And so it happens, the day I did actually complete this, my friends and cousins were over, and they were drawn towards it straight away because, like I said, that yellow does stand out amongst all my other LEGO sets. And not only that, everyone seems to know that if you see a yellow question mark block, it is definitely Mario related, and they are always intrigued, as most of the people in my family have grown up playing Mario, including myself. So for me, this set is pure nostalgia, and I do love it no matter what, even though it does have its flaws and all that. But I did grow up playing Super Mario 64, and I have completed it probably about 20 to 30 times, and I did even buy it on the Nintendo Switch when it got re-released, and I did actually play it again. So to me, personally, as a Mario fan / Nintendo fan, these kind of sets do mean quite a lot to me, because I did grow up playing these games, and I do still to this day. I am still obsessed with Mario, I am still obsessed with Nintendo and the Nintendo Switch, and that kind of stuff. So yes, there will be people saying, well, technically this question mark block doesn't even exist in Super Mario 64, but nonetheless, they did make it yellow with a question mark in white rather than the red one. So I don't know the decision behind making that choice, but I do think that the yellow question mark block is more recognizable than the red one. But that's enough about me flapping about the outside of it. So let's see all the little micro builds, and I do have to admit, I do love them. Even though they are tiny, they do pack a lot of detail, and the levels that they do represent are quite accurate to the game itself. And I do like how you kind of move that flap, and then you just sort of pull it up, I guess, and the whole kind of mechanism just opens up, revealing the little macro builds, and then you kind of just pull it apart and they sort of pop into their final position, and that kind of Peach's Castle area just pops up with the help of rubber bands and 4 little Technic rods. So I do like how it kind of spreads itself out without you having to individually maneuver each one of these levels. So now let's take a look at all these little micro builds, starting with the first level that you sort of encounter, which is the open area, as well as Peach's castle. So here we have little Mario that pops up through his little pipe, which is represented here. And I do have to admit, micro scale Mario is quite adorable with his little hat and his blue pants and his little mustache. And we also do get Lakitu right here, and he's pretty much the cameraman that follows Mario around through his adventures. And then we get to Peach's castle, and I do like it, and I think that the micro scale of it does represent it quite well, even though it is tiny. It even has a little Yoshi hiding behind it, which I thought was a cool little touch. But not only that, it does actually it's somewhat a little modular, where you kind of pop that front off, and you sort of get that foyer of the castle with the little paintings that Mario goes around jumping into that sends him to different levels. So I thought that was quite a cool touch. And there is another little one of these kind of modular parts in the other level, which I'll show you later on. So I do like this part of it. I think it's quite awesome. Even though it is tiny, it does represent that level quite well. And also, like I said, with that you do get little Princess Peach. She's quite tall though compared to Mario, which I thought was a bit of a weird choice. But however, when you look at it, you do recognize that it is Princess Peach with her little pink dress and her yellowish blonde hair. So now moving on to the first official level of the game, which happens to be Bomb Battlefield. As a Mario64 fan, I spent a lot of hours in this level, and I do think it represents that level quite nicely. I do like kind of these little touches of those little stumps where Mario can do his butt stomps on, and also this little chain chomp that you see over here. I think that is quite cool as well. And then obviously as you go through the level, you have to climb that kind of mountain slash hill, where at the top you fight King Bomb, which is represented quite nicely as well. He does have his golden crown and his yellow boots, and you have to kind of grab him by his butt, and then you have to throw him 3 times until he explodes. So I think that representation of that level is absolutely on point. I can't flaw it whatsoever. You do even get that kind of floating island that you get in it, where Mario can get into a cannon once you open up the cannons, and you can actually go on top and get that little star up there. So I really do like that attention to detail right there. Now moving on to Cool Mountain. This probably being my least favorite level in Mario 64, as I do hate anything that has water slash ice, as it makes it quite difficult to maneuver, because obviously Mario slips and slides around. So I did find this very frustrating when I was quite young, but now, to be quite honest, going back to it, it is quite easy. But it does kind of have older representations that the level did have, such as the little snowman without his upper half, where you have to kind of deliver that snowball head for him so you can be completed, and give you his golden star. You also do get those kind of tiny little penguins where you have to return the little penguin to his mother down the bottom, and you do once again get one of those kind of little modular little hidden sections where it pulls apart, and inside you kind of get that hidden area with that ice slide where you have to race that penguin in order to get your star. So I do quite like that as well. It does, even though it is a micro scale, it does actually pack a lot of detail. So for any Mario fan, I do think we actually enjoy these kind of little things and appreciate them, how they are completed and achieved, even though they are, you know, mostly just 1 by 1 or 2 by 2 tiles and blocks and here and there. But even like that little penguin, like even though it's like 4 blocks all together or 5 blocks, you can definitely straight away tell that it represents a penguin. So I do like that. And the final build is Lethal Lava Land, and I do like this level quite a lot too. I do like the lava levels in most of the Mario games. They're quite creative and quite genius, as you know, the platforms kind of rise and fall and you have to kind of time your moves. And you do kind of get a lot of the details from the game, such as that giant eyeball that follows you around, where you kind of have to run around it really quickly so it kind of gets dizzy and stuff. So I do like that. And obviously at the end of the level you do get that big bully kind of representation here, and the star at the back of him. So once you do get past him, you can actually collect your star. So all in all, I do really like this set. It is quite clever and quite eye-catching. But however, that is not all. It does actually have a little bit of a hidden secret, as you probably can tell on that box. You do have that kind of little flap at the bottom that's kind of cracked a little bit open, so it does kind of reveal a bit of a secret. So if you do not want this secret revealed, please skip this part of the video. but however, I will show it for everyone else. So in order to open that kind of flap, you gotta lift this little door up, and inside you do get a hidden tiny little Bowser. How adorable is that? Like, you know, you got like, what is it, like 20 pieces in that, but you do know straight away that that is supposed to represent Bowser. I do really like that kind of, you know, those kind of micro builds. You can get away with so many little bricks to kind of represent what you really need to. But inside, however, you do get this kind of purple little platform where if you hit it quite hard, that little trap door will open, and you can obviously drop that down, and in there we kind of have that little turntable. That's supposed to represent that final battle with Bowser, where you have to kind of go behind him, grab him by his tail, and kind of spin him around until he, you know, you hit him against one of those exploding bombs at the edges of that course. So I do really like that little hidden feature and that little secret. It is quite cool. And for a Mario fan slash Nintendo fan, what can you ask for? But also, another little feature that I found whilst building this set, if you look at top of that cube, there is these tiny 2x2 tiles, and guess how many of them there are? Yes, if you look at the instruction manual, here's a photo of it, there are actually 64 of these little tiles. So that is another little kind of Easter egg hidden inside this box. So for a Mario fan slash Nintendo fan, this is absolutely awesome. Yes, it is a little bit more expensive than most people like to pay, but you do have to consider that the Nintendo tax is included, just like with the Star Wars sets. Everything seems to be a little bit more expensive due to the fact that, you know, you have to license these things. So all in all, I really do like this set. Presents itself quite nicely. It looks awesome on my shelf. It is a talking piece when people come over. And do I want to see more of these kind of sets? Yes, absolutely. For a fan of this genre, I absolutely love them. I'm like a kid in a candy store when these things get revealed, and I get to go into the Lego shop and buy them. So that should do me for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. And I'll catch you when I buy the new set. Bye!